My parents thought I'd never find out they sold my house right out from under me, the one I'd scraped together after my divorce, just to bail out my brother's latest mess. I am Ruby, 31 years old, a office clerk in Anchorage, Alaska, handling paperwork and client calls all day to make ends meet. For months, I'd been sending them money, hundreds here, 1,000 there, from my paycheck, thinking it was for their bills, while they treated me like the family failure for ending my marriage early. That evening, my phone buzzed with a video call from them. I answered, and there they were, faces filling the screen, my mother smiling too sweetly. "Sweetie, we need another $2,000 quick, your brother's car broke down again." My father nodded, adding, "You're the responsible one, always have been." Responsible. The word stung, but I held back, asking why they couldn't handle it themselves this time. Their excuses piled up, vague and shifting, and something in their tone made my stomach twist. I knew then they were hiding more. If you've ever uncovered a family betrayal that shattered everything, drop your story in the comments below. Where are you watching from? I hung up the video call, my hands shaking a bit, but I pushed it down and grabbed my laptop to check my bank app. The transfers stared back at me, $500 last month for their utilities, another $800 the month before for my brother's supposed job training. I'd been doing this for over a year, ever since my divorce left me scraping by in a small apartment, while they leaned on me harder each time. A few days later, my sister texted, her message popping up during my lunch break at work. "Hey loser, Mom says you bailed on the latest ask. What's your deal? Still bitter about your failed marriage?" I stared at the screen, the words hitting like a slap, but I typed back calmly, "What do you mean I just talked to them?" She fired off, "Oh please, you're always the victim. They need cash for Josiah's car, his transmission blew. But hey, if you're too broke from your bad choices, we'll figure it out without you." That victim jab twisted something inside me, reminding me of all the times she'd thrown my divorce in my face during family chats. Last Christmas, over a group call, she'd laughed, "Ruby's single again, guess some people can't keep a man happy." My mother had chimed in softly, "Now, dear, she's trying her best," but it felt hollow, especially when they turned right around and asked for more money to cover my brother's rent. He'd lost another job, something about showing up late too often, and they always made excuses for him, saying he was going through a rough patch. I scrolled through my statements, spotting the patterns, my checks going out, but their stories never adding up. One entry caught my eye, a withdrawal of $1,500 from my linked savings marked as family emergency. But I hadn't authorized it. My heart raced, but I kept my cool, thinking, maybe it was a glitch. I called the bank right then, and the rep confirmed. "It looks like it was transferred to an account under your parents' names. Do you share access?" Share access? They'd convinced me to set it up years ago, just in case, but now it felt like a trap. I ended the call and paced my office cubicle, piecing it together, their constant praise for my brother as the golden child, even though he blew through cash on dumb investments while I got labeled the screw-up for leaving a toxic marriage. My sister had even said once during a heated argument, "If you hadn't divorced, maybe you'd have your own house still instead of mooching off us for emotional support." The unfairness built up, but I swallowed it, deciding to dig deeper quietly. That night, I emailed my best friend, who also happens to be a lawyer, asking if she could look over my accounts unofficially. She replied fast, "Send them over, sounds shady. We'll sort it." It was the first step toward controlling the hurt, turning it into something sharper. As the days passed, more red flags popped up. My father called again, his voice gruff over the line. "We got the bank notice. Why's the auto transfer off? Your mother's worried sick." I paused, keeping my tone even. "Dad, I need details on where the money's going. Last time it was for bills, but now it's Josiah's car." He huffed. "Don't question us, you owe us for raising you right. Just send it. Or, are you turning your back like you did on your husband?" His words stung deep, but I held firm, saying, "I'll think about it," and hung up. My sister followed with a voicemail, her tone dripping sarcasm. Nice one, making mom cry. You're really showing your true colors, selfish as always. The insults piled on, but instead of breaking me, they fueled a quiet resolve. I started noting everything, the dates, the amounts, the lies, and forwarded copies to my friend for advice. By the end of the week, a package arrived at my door, old mail forwarded from my ex's address, including a real estate notice. It mentioned my old house, the one we'd bought together before the split, listed as sold 6 months ago without my sign-off. My name was still on the deed as co-owner, but the proceeds routed to an account I didn't recognize. The puzzle pieces clicked. They'd forged documents to sell it behind my back, using my divorce as cover to claim I was unreachable. The betrayal simmered, but I stayed composed, calling my cousin next for his take. He'd always been the neutral one in family messes. "Ruby, I've heard whispers," he said quietly. "Your parents mentioned investing in Josiah's business venture with some quick cash. Didn't know it involved your property." That confirmation hit hard, but I thanked him and hung up, my mind racing toward what came next. I stared at the real estate notice in my hands, the words blurring for a second before sharpening into betrayal. The sale date matched a time when I'd been too buried in divorce paperwork to notice, and the buyer was some anonymous LLC, but the transfer details linked straight back to my parents' bank routing number. They'd cashed out the full value, $80,000, and funneled it without a word to me, even though my signature was required as co-owner. The document showed a scanned version of my name, but it wasn't mine. The loops were off too neat, like someone had practiced faking it. My pulse hammered, the initial shock turning to a cold burn in my chest. This wasn't just dipping into savings, it was outright theft, wiping out the equity I'd fought for in the settlement. I snapped photos of every page and emailed them to my best friend and lawyer, Layla, with a quick note. "Look at this. They sold the house. Need your eyes on it now." She called back within minutes, her voice steady but urgent over the speaker. "Ruby, this is bad. Forgery on a deed. That's fraud, plain and simple. Send me the originals if you can. I'll run a check on the notary and see if it holds up." We talked for an hour, her breaking it down step by step. "The proceeds should have split 50-50 with your ex, but if your parents intercepted it, we're looking at embezzlement too. Did they ever mention needing quick cash for your brother?" I confirmed the bits I'd heard from my cousin, and she paused, then said, "Okay, this smells like a pattern. I'll pull public records on the property, give me a day." Hanging up, I felt the shift, the hurt hardening into focus, like flipping a switch from victim to fighter. No more quiet transfers or guilt trips. I was done being their safety net. The next morning, my phone rang while I sipped coffee at my desk, dodging coworker chit-chat. It was my cousin David, his tone low and serious. "Hey, I dug a little after our last talk. Your parents filed taxes last year claiming that house sale as a gift to your brother for his startup, but they deducted it wrong, skipped reporting the full gain. It's like they hid it to avoid capital gains tax, and if the IRS catches wind, it's penalties up the wazoo." I gripped the mug tighter, the pieces slamming together. "David, you're sure? How'd you find this?" He chuckled dryly. "I'm in accounting, remember. Pulled some public filings, it's all there if you know where to look. But watch your back. If they know you're onto them, they'll spin it." His words lit a fire, the deception deeper than I'd imagined. Not just stealing from me, but dodging taxes on it, risking everything to prop up my brother while painting me as the unreliable one. I thanked him and immediately forwarded the info to Layla, who texted back, "This changes everything. Tax fraud on top of forgery. We can report this anonymously to start, but let's build your case first." We met that afternoon at a coffee shop near my office. She slid over printouts of the deed discrepancies, pointing out the forged notary stamp. "See here, the seal's expired. No legit notary would use it. Your parents must have pulled strings or faked it themselves." As we plotted, my phone buzzed non-stop texts from my sister, sharp and accusing. "Mom's freaking out because you ghosted Dad's call. What's your problem now? Always drama with you." I ignored it, focusing on Layla's plan: gather more evidence, then confront them with irrefutable proof. But my mother called next, her voice cracking just enough to tug at old strings. "Honey, why the silence? We miss hearing from you. Your brother's got big news about his business." Big news, probably funded by my stolen equity. I kept it short. "Mom will talk soon," and ended the call, the pretense fueling my resolve. Layla leaned in, her eyes sharp. "Don't tip your hand yet. We'll hit them with the facts, demand repayment, or we go to the authorities. But with the tax angle from your cousin, this could blow up bigger." I nodded, the cold determination settling in. No tears, no pleas, just action. That evening, I cross-checked more records online, finding emails from months back where my father had casually asked for my ex's contact, just to catch up. Now obvious as a ploy to bypass me on the sale. The web of lies unraveled fast, each thread pulling me toward payback. My brother texted late, his message casual but probing. "Sis, heard you're upset, whatever it is. Let's squash it. Family first, right?" Family first. The hypocrisy boiled over inside, but I replied neutrally. "Sure, we'll discuss." Inside, the plan solidified: expose the fraud, force accountability, and walk away clean. Layla confirmed the next steps in a follow-up email file: a title dispute, alert the IRS tip line with David's intel, and prepare for the fallout. The high was intense, the drama peaking as I realized this wasn't just recovery, it was reclamation. As night fell, my sister left a voicemail, her sarcasm thick. "Ignoring us classy. Mom thinks you're jealous of Josiah's success, get over it." Success built on my ruins. I deleted it, turning instead to the growing file on my laptop. The shift was complete, from enduring their barbs to arming myself against them. Tomorrow we'd escalate: Layla drafting the demand letter, me lining up witnesses like David. With Layla's demand letter ready, outlining the forgery, the unauthorized sale, and the tax dodge, she emailed it to me for final tweaks. I read it through, the words crisp and unyielding: repay the $80,000 within 30 days or face legal action, including a report to the IRS for potential fraud. It included attachments of the forged deed, the mismatched notary, and David's pulled tax filings showing the hidden gain. I hit send on the certified email to my parents' address, copying my brother and sister for good measure. No turning back now, the confrontation was set. That same afternoon, I initiated a group video call, catching them off guard. My mother's face appeared first, looking puzzled. "Ruby, what's this about some legal nonsense in my inbox?" My father joined next, frowning deeply. "Better not be wasting our time with your grudges." Then my brother popped in, his expression cocky at first. "Sis, if this is about the money, chill, we'll sort it." My sister connected last, rolling her eyes. "Oh great, another pity party. Spit it out." I kept my voice level, screen sharing the letter so they could see it live. "You sold my house, the one from my marriage, without my permission, forged my signature, and pocketed the proceeds to fund my brother's failed ventures. Then you hid it on your taxes to dodge the bill." Silence hit like a wall, their faces freezing on the screen. My father recovered first, sputtering. "That's ridiculous. We were helping you, the place was just sitting there after your mess of a divorce." My mother jumped in, her tone pleading. "Honey, it was for the family. Josiah needed startup capital. You know how tough things are." Josiah, my brother, leaned closer to his camera, his smirk fading. "Come on, Rubes. It wasn't like that. We figured you'd agree eventually. It's not theft if it's family." I cut him off sharp. "Family. You forged documents, lied to the realtor, and used my equity like it was yours. That's fraud. And the IRS will see it that way too." My sister's laugh barked out, forced and high. "You're bluffing. Always the drama queen, jealous because Josiah's finally making moves while you're stuck in that dead-end job." The jab glanced off me. I'd anticipated it. I shared the next screen, the tax discrepancies David had flagged, with the unreported $80,000 glaring in red. "Not bluffing. This shows you claimed it as a gift, but skip the capital gains, that's evasion. Penalties could wipe you out. My father slammed something off-screen, his voice rising. You ungrateful brat. After everything we've done covering your bills when you couldn't hack marriage. My mother teared up, dabbing her eyes. Please, Ruby, don't do this. We're your parents. Think of the shame. I held firm, the cold edge in my tone. You sold my future for his mistakes. Now watch yours crumble. That line landed hard. My brother's face paled and he muttered, Wait, what about the IRS? You're serious? I nodded. Dead serious. Repay every cent or I file the report tomorrow. Layla's already prepped the forms. My sister sneered. Who's Layla, your imaginary lawyer friend? This is extortion, we'll fight back. But her voice wavered, the bluff obvious. Layla joined the call, then her professional face on screen. Actually, I'm her lawyer, and this is a legitimate demand under Alaska law for fraud and conversion. We've got the evidence, deed scans, bank trails, tax docs. Ignore it and we escalate. My parents exchanged glances, the panic setting in. My father barked, This is bullshit. We did it to help everyone, you included. My mother whimpered, Ruby baby, let's talk in person, no need for lawyers. But I shook my head. Too late for talks. You crossed the line when you faked my name. My brother tried charm next, his go-to move. Sis, let's cut a deal. I'll pay you back half now from my next gig. Half. The nerve twisted my gut, but I stayed icy. Full amount or the authorities get involved, and David, our cousin, has already corroborated the tax mess. He's willing to testify. Mentioning David flipped the script. My sister's eyes widened. You dragged him into this traitor family, doesn't snitch. My father roared, We'll disown you for this, you hear me? Their threats bounced off. The power had shifted. Layla interjected smoothly. Disowning won't erase the fraud. Sign the agreement attached to the email, wire the funds, and we end it quietly. Otherwise, the IRS tip line is one click away. The call devolved, my mother begging, Please, for old time's sake. My brother cursing under his breath, This is gonna ruin me. And my sister hissing, You'll regret burning bridges, bitch. I ended the call mid-rant, the screen going black. Adrenaline surging through me. Layla texted immediately, Nailed it, they're scrambling. But the real action kicked off next. I submitted the anonymous IRS report with the flagged filings attaching anonymized evidence. David called to confirm he'd back me if needed, saying, They've been shady for years. About time someone called it. The demands clock ticked 30 days to comply. Over the following week, their responses flooded in. My father emailed first, all bluster, Retract this or we'll sue for defamation. Layla shot back a cease and desist, shutting it down. My mother tried guilt via voicemail. How can you hurt us like this? We're your blood. I deleted it, focusing on the wire transfer setup she'd outlined. My brother attempted a side deal, texting, Meet me halfway, 40 grand, and we call it even. No dice. I forwarded it to Layla as evidence of admission. My sister went nuclear, spreading whispers to extended family. Ruby's gone crazy, attacking us over nothing. But David countered in the group chat. It's not nothing, ask about the house sale. The backlash turned. A few aunts messaged support, one saying, We've suspected favoritism for ages. The pressure built on them, cracks showing. My father called late one night, voice defeated for the first time. Fine, we'll pay, but this ends our relationship. I replied coolly, It ended when you stole from me. Layla monitored the transfer. 20,000 hit first, then another 30 piecemeal, like they were scraping it together. The final 30 came with a note from my mother. Hope you're happy now. Happy? Not quite, but satisfied, yes. With the funds secured, I closed the loop on the title dispute, reclaiming what was mine. The IRS acknowledgement arrived days later. Investigation opened. Their world was unraveling just as planned. The transfers wrapped up over the next 2 weeks, the full $80,000 landing in my account in fits and starts, like they were selling off assets to scrape it together. Layla confirmed each one, noting the source's pawnshop receipts attached to one wire, a quick loan on another. But the real hammer dropped when the IRS audit notice hit their mailbox. David's intel had paved the way, and now agents were digging into the unreported gains penalties stacking up fast. My father texted first, his message frantic, "Call off the dogs, this is destroying us." I didn't respond, letting the silence speak. Word spread through family channels, my aunt called. Voice hushed. "Your parents are in deep." The IRS froze their accounts, demanding back taxes plus fines over 20,000. She paused, adding, "They're blaming you, but I get it. They've always played favorites." My mother tried next, leaving a voicemail that cracked mid-sentence. "Ruby, please, the house is on the line now. We might lose it if we can't pay up." Lose it? The irony burned. They'd stolen mine, now facing the same. I deleted the message and blocked her number, the final cut clean. My brother lost his latest gig soon after. His boss caught wind of the family scandal through mutual contact, citing distractions in the termination email he forwarded me, begging for help. "Sis, hook me up with a reference or something. I'm crashing on friends' couches." I replied curtly, "Handle it yourself," and archived the thread. His business venture collapsed too. Investors pulling out once the fraud whispers hit online forums. Turns out he'd pitched it using the stolen funds as seed capital. He called one last time, voice desperate. "You win, okay, just talk to the IRS, say it was a mix-up." No chance. I hung up mid-plea. My sister ramped up the attacks, emailing from a new address after I blocked her old one. "You're a monster." Mom's depressed dad's working double shifts at a warehouse just to eat. Happy now. She attached photos of their emptied garage stuff piled for sale, but it backfired, hardening my stance. David texted updates. "Agents raided their home office yesterday, seized files. Your brother's named in the docs too." The fallout escalated. My parents defaulted on their mortgage, the bank foreclosing by month's end. They moved into a cramped rental, my father taking a low-pay custodian job, grumbling to relatives about ungrateful kids. Extended family divided, some sided with them, sending me guilt trip messages like, "Blood's thicker than water." But others backed off, one cousin admitting, "They've burned bridges for years. You did what you had to." Layla wrapped the legal side, filing to clear my name from any lingering ties, ensuring the repaid funds were mine, free and clear. With the money, I invested wisely, down payment on a condo, the rest in savings, and started dating again, meeting a guy through work who didn't judge my past. We clicked fast. 6 months later, he proposed over a quiet dinner ring, simple but sincere. My sister made one final play, showing up at my office, unannounced, eyes red-rimmed. "Ruby, we're broke. Dad's health is shot from stress. Mom won't leave the house. Lend us 10 grand just to get by." Her tone mixed begging and bitterness. "You owe us for putting up with your failures." I stood firm, escorting her out. "Owe you after the theft. No, find your own way." She spat back. "You'll be alone forever, just like after your divorce." But I wasn't. My new fiancé waited in the lobby, his support a shield. The IRS case closed with settlements, my parents hit with 35,000 in fines, my brother ordered to community service for his role. They ghosted family events, reputations tarnished, while I built anew, weekends with my fiancé exploring trails, my job promoting me to supervisor with the drama behind. No more wires, no more jabs, just peace. They lost everything, but I gained my freedom. Looking back on it all, I realized the biggest lesson wasn't about the money or the fraud. It was about recognizing that family ties can turn toxic when they're built on manipulation and favoritism. I used to think blood meant unconditional support, but what they did showed me otherwise. Enabling their lies only drained me, leaving me as the perpetual fixer for their messes. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. If I'd kept sending those checks, ignoring the red flags, I'd still be trapped in their cycle, labeled the failure, while they coasted on my hard work. Take it from me, if your family dismisses your struggles, prioritizes one sibling over others, or crosses lines like theft under the guise of helping, don't wait for an apology that may never come. Draw the line early. Protect your peace and your finances. I've seen too many stories like mine where people endure years of guilt trips before breaking free, only to regret the lost time. Don't let that be you. Trust your gut when something feels off, document everything, and seek outside help like a lawyer or trusted relative. It might feel harsh at first, but reclaiming your life brings a clarity you didn't know you needed. In the end, cutting them off wasn't revenge. It was reclaiming what was mine. Now, with my condo secure, my promotion solid, and my fiancé by my side, we're planning a small wedding next spring. Nothing flashy, I feel whole. No more second-guessing every family call or text. Just forward momentum. They may whisper about me at gatherings they still attend, but their words hold no power anymore. I've built a new circle, friends like Layla who celebrate my wins, cousins like David who stood up for truth, and a partner who sees my strength, not my past scars. If this hits home for you, remember true family uplifts doesn't undermine. Whether it's financial betrayal, emotional favoritism, or outright lies, you deserve better. Stand firm, set those limits, and watch how life opens up without the weight. It saved me, and it can save you too. Thanks for sticking with my story. It's been cathartic sharing it. If you've dealt with similar family drama, hit that like button, subscribe for more real talk tales, and drop your experiences in the comments. What boundary did you set that changed everything? Let's support each other down there.